Hello everybody, this is Cholera, and I'd like to welcome you to the first episode of the SC2GG Commentator Idol. This is a project we've been working on for many months, and now we are proud to announce the 6 contestants. We've gotten so much responses from all you guys, so thank you for the people who applied. We've gotten, I believe, 17 people applying to this, and we actually added an extra contestant slot because there was so much talent. Now I would like to announce our 2 permanent judges. They'll be with us every week, and each week they'll be joined with a surprise guest judge. We have a list already, but it is kept under lock and key. But I will tell you that Diggity will be our 3rd judge next week. And these 3 judges will be affecting how the voting goes. They will definitely have great insights upon what the contestants are doing, and they will also have a very big say in terms of who moves on. But you guys, the viewers, will have the most say. Now I'd like to introduce our 2 judges. We have here Peanut and Rise. Peanut is a esports expert. She's been to Korea, seen the elephant. She's met tons of people in the esports industry and a lot of the pro gamers themselves. Peanut is also just months away from finishing her degree in linguistics, and this background will certainly help her in terms of judging the different qualities of the voice and the talking style of our commentators, aspects which I think are very important in terms of making or breaking a commentator. Peanut, why don't you introduce yourselves? Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Thanks very much, caller, for that introduction. Hi, everybody. This is Peanut, and I'm head staff at SC2GG, and I love participating in the community. You may have seen me on the SC2GG IRC channel, and as well as the forums. I'd like to thank Caller very much for giving me the chance to be a judge, and I'm looking forward very much to sharing my views on the contestants' use of especially color and their vocal qualities in the commentaries. I have a lot of experience in the performing arts, especially singing and acting, and like Cholera said, I'm pursuing a linguistics degree, so I hope to add those areas of expertise to this excellent panel, and I very much look forward to working with Rise and our excellent guest judges, who of course will be announced in due course, but I just want to let you know they're going to be an excellent group of guest judges.
Our 2nd judge will be SC2GG Rise. He has been a commentator for a very long time. He's had great experience with commentating, and he's done some of the most hilarious and well-detailed casts of all time. I think I have a great time with Rise every time we commentate. I believe most of you viewers do also. So Rise, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you'll be bringing into the judging panel?
Hey guys, this is Rise from SC2GG.com, and I'm going to be commentating commentators along with Peanut and our guest judges, and I am looking forward to it. You may have heard me before on the Violatech account, as well as my own. I do have a lot of you guys do like to watch this, which is great, and now you guys are trying your own hand at commentating yourself. So, out of 17 submissions, we have picked 6 people to go on, and I don't have quite the credentials that Peanut does, but I do know a little bit about commentary after doing so many myself. So thanks to all your criticism, by the way. So it wouldn't actually come about without you guys telling us what we were and weren't good at. So now we're going to pass that on to this new group of commentaries and commentators and see if we can mold one of them to be a SC2GG front page commentator.
Yeah, definitely. I think once you guys see these commentators, you'll definitely want to stick around. We could have picked, I think, at least 10 contestants out of the pool of 17 people. I mean, there was so much talent coming out of the woodwork, too. There were, I believe, 9 or 10 contestants who have never done commentaries before, who submitted 2 commentaries each, 2 videos, put them on YouTube just for this contest. And we're proud to announce them very shortly from now. Just like to point out that this week there will be no voting, so please don't get confused. This week we are just introducing the commentators who will be participating in this contest, and we are going to announce the first assignment at the end of this video for everyone to see. This Thursday night, the first assignments will be completed by all 6 of the contestants, and they will be online on the front page of SC2GG.com. We might even put another promo video up to make sure you guys have the links to them. So please watch all of those commentaries, and then go to SC2GG.com to the link we provide and vote. You get 3 choices to vote for. You can vote for your best who you think did best, second best, and third best with different point values. So it is going to be a very interesting system. You do have to register at SC2GG.com forums, but that takes literally 30 seconds, and your vote will determine pretty much who will be the next SC2GG idol. So without any further ado, let's introduce our contestants. Drumroll, please. Our first contestant by alphabetical order is Hamilcar. Hamilcar is a new commentator who posted his first commentary just 1 week ago, but he sounds like he has the experience of a lot of weeks of commentating, a lot of months of commentating. I think he is a very good technical commentator, and he said that he was actually inspired by this contest to finally get over some of his technical difficulties in terms of doing commentaries, which he's wanted to do for over 6 months. So let's take a look at one of his 2 submissions. His first submission that we're going to look at, the submission we're going to look at here is C Really versus Jangbi, a Terran versus Protoss game played in the Pro League a few weeks ago. And the first clip we'll take a look at is when he describes a very nice Dragoon timing attack right in the beginning of the game.
And you can see here what I say about the map having lots of possibilities. If C really had walled off, he would have been totally safe from this harass by and large, but now Stork's able to press in through this choke, and mines are out, so that's probably going to slow down the Dragoons, but very poorly placed. Jangbi is able to get around those mines. He might even be he's able to pick off that one, and one more mine going down, a Dragoon goes down, but the mines have all been picked off, so we'll see more damage is going to be done by these Dragoons, and Vultures going down, Marines going down, pulling more and more SCVs.
Okay, I really like this clip, guys. What do you think, Rise, about just generally how he did here?
Well, I gotta say, he had a good grasp on the map itself, calling out the different areas and the different advantages of attacking, being a Protoss player against a Terran player, so props to him on that.
Yeah, what do you think about his voice overall? I mean, we'll see that more, but what do you think about his color and his, just how he brings excitement to the game, Peanut?
There are definitely parts in his commentary where I felt very engaged by his excitement. This is certainly one of them, and something that I feel really helped with that is just his very consistent flow and his ability to think very quickly on his feet, so to say. So I think that's an excellent quality, and he should be commended for that.
All right, well, moving on to later on in the game, when there was a Reaver drop from Jangbi, and it was very good. Let's watch.
So great micro here by Jangbi, and splash damage on 2 tanks, and drops another Zealot, and that tank is going to go down. Wow, and a Mine Drag too, doing severe damage to one of the other tanks. And Jangbi is doing a ridiculous amount of damage with just a single Reaver. He's taken down 3 tanks at the cost of 2 Zealots, and now he's heading in to harass this natural expansion of C Reallys.
Very, very good play-by-play in general is where I feel is his main strength. Would you guys agree, Rise?
Yeah, definitely. His play-by-play on the Mind Drag, making sure that he was on top of the events as they were happening is key here to giving a good commentary, and he did a pretty good job at it.
Peanut, what do you think?
This is definitely one of those places in Hamilcar's commentary where the excitement was contagious. When he started speeding up his voice and started really engaging the listener in talking about the Reaver drop and the Zealot Mind Drag, I was absolutely compelled, absolutely gripped. I could not tear my eyes away from the action, so props to him for that.
Yeah, I agree. And let's take a look at the final clip. This is the end of the game when Jangbi is putting the finishing blows on C Really.
2 shuttles heading in, and we'll see what he's able to do now. And turrets warning them away a little bit, lands a Zealot, and Goliath there, landing right on top of those 2 tanks, and even 1 shuttle does go down, but he's got the Reavers, and he's just going to suicide the Reavers in, and he'll be able to do a bunch of economic damage here. Takes out 1 Goliath, I think. Oh, and now he's pressing in the front. Excellent timing attack. He's got forces distracted in the back. He's taking out a couple of tanks, and now his Dragoons taking out that last tank. He's got Zealots in the back that are able to support, and this is just brilliant, brilliant tactics by Jangbi. Now SCV is desperately repairing that tank. It's not going to be enough. C really looks like he knows it.
I think in general, Hamilcar starts off tame but he really gets excited during the key parts of the game, and I think that's his strength. I think he knows the players well. He might not be the kind of person who's really flashy at the start, but I think he's a solid commentator, and I see once he gets a little more practice, I think he'll do really good. What do you guys think about that? Rise first.
Yeah, definitely. He's got the technicals down, and he knows the cost of all the units, so he can give a pretty good cost analysis, cost benefit on the effectiveness of different attacks. And then definitely, as we get towards the later portions of the commentary, he starts getting into it in the action. He loosens up a little bit. So my only advice to him is to loosen up a little bit more earlier in the commentary, and then you'll really shine.
Yeah. What about a little bit of a summary from you, Peanut? What do you think he's good at, and what do you think he needs to work on here?
I would actually disagree with your initial summary slightly, Cholera. I think he had a great opening, and he had sort of a nice announcery voice going on. But what separated him from me, in terms of voice and in terms of color, is that he was able to bring that back later in the game. I think some of the other contestants had a great opening, but then sort of let the excitement die, whereas Hamilcar seemed to consistently bring it back. And I think that's excellent. I think he could definitely, as Rise said, become more consistent in that, but he has a lot of potential.
All right, thanks, Peanut and Rise. And congratulations, Hamilcar. You are the first contestant out of the 6 chosen for the SC2GG Commentator Idol. Our next contestant that we'll be announcing is Hazel. Hazel, of course, you know, is a female commentator, and she is been around for about a month and a half. She was very excited about this contest, and she sent in 2 very good submissions. She is very much into the esports scene among colleges. She's trying to start her own collegiate esports tournament, or Star League actually, and I believe her college will actually be playing another college in the upcoming months. So she's already arranged a lot, and Pina, I believe you picked a nice introduction clip from one of her casts of, I think it was Yellow Arnak versus Haya.
안녕하세요. By the way, that means hello in Korean and hello and welcome to everyone back to Game 4 of Lake Half Oz versus OnGameNet Sparkies. Now, I'm not actually Korean. Don't believe me if I do say that. I just have a lot of Korean international friends who teach me greetings, pleasantries, and a lot of bad words. Yeah, I won't be using them in this commentary though, unless Yarnak loses, because I really love Zerg players, and Yarnak is actually...
Yes, the Yellow Arnak versus Haya intro was particularly salient to me because she starts off with 안녕하세요, which is a Korean greeting, you know, hello, how are you? And she's actually has very good pronunciation. And as a linguistics major, I certainly appreciate that. As someone who knows a lot about performing and the value of a good opening, it's definitely something that makes her stand out, and which also made me feel welcome when she continues and says, like, yes, hello and welcome. That's why I picked it.
Great. I also liked how she mentioned that she was going to start cursing in Korean if Yarnak lost. But I think, Rise, you picked 2 clips from later on in that game when Yellow actually was losing at the close to the very end. Let's watch both of them right now.
Yarnak needs to put up a swarm for those Zerglings, or at least a plague. I think a plague does go off. No, it does not. That was just too much Zergling blood and red marine colors to tell. Defensive matrix is on that one marine. The marine is taking all that sunken shots, and Yarnak looks like he's in trouble. He doesn't have a defiler. He's kept that top left expansion, but now he can't keep his actual base. He can't keep his main base, and if his main base goes down, he will be in so much trouble. And Lake was... I don't know. Yarnak just didn't play as well that game. His mutalist control was a little bit off. He ran all his mutas really early in the game into a bunch of turrets, into a bunch of marines, and he just didn't get any economic harass off. Also, build order may have been just a problem. While Haya went for that fast racks into CC, Yarnak kind of went for a low econ build and just didn't do anything with it. He went for a 12 pool, which isn't that risky, but it still is less economically beneficial than a 12 hatch, and he just wasn't able to use those early Zerglings to any effect.
All right, so we had the basically we had 2 clips. One was the play-by-play as Yellow Arnek was getting demolished by Haya, and the other one was a post-game summary. Why did you like these two, Rise?
Well, I gotta say, the play-by-play was pretty good. She did a good job of saying exactly what was happening, exactly what Yellow needed to do in order to defend against this, exactly why he couldn't defend against it, and why he ended up losing. Followed up by a good post-game summary of why he may have lost, what could have contributed to that due to economic build order choices and things like that. But hey, I gotta call you out on something, Hazel. You didn't curse when he lost, so I think I gave you minus 50 DKP.
Yeah, exactly. I was missing out on the Korean curses. All right, and finally, I think you picked another clip from the second submission she gave, Jaedong versus Shine, and this is close to the end of the game here as Jaedong is attacking and finishing off Shine. Let's watch.
Down on those poor Marines, and simultaneously Jaedong puts up a swarm. He needs one more swarm though, closer to the Marines, and there he goes. That lurker will take down so many Marines. Oh, or not, but so many medics. Those poor medics, 4 medics in a row. Wow, someone really doesn't like females. Anyway, those Guardians will come in. Jaedong should spread them out a little bit more. It's nice to have concentrated fire, but it will not be nice to have 4 simultaneous irradiates go off on those Guardians. But
Peanut, why did you choose this clip, and what do you think it shows about her?
There were two specific places in this clip that I really liked. The first one was when she described the Guardians as raining acid down on the Terran army. It's a beautiful turn of phrase. It's true, supposedly, according to the way the StarCraft units are supposed to work in, real life or whatever, but it's just a very good way of saying it. And then also the other part that I thought was interesting was when she said that Jaedong must not like women because the lurkers were killing a bunch of medics. And I have to say, actually, since I've met Jaedong, I met him on several occasions, he did not seem to me to be that averse to women. But I did appreciate that you threw in that bit of color there.
Yeah, he likes when men dress up as women.
More. Jinx, Rise. All right. So Rise, then Peanut, then I guess we'll give a little bit of a summary about how do you think she's doing right now and what her strengths are and what she needs to work on. Rise, why don't you go first?
Well, I gotta say, she's probably one of the most well-spoken contestants we had. I mean, really, she has a very dainty voice, and she clearly enunciates everything, which is great to begin with. Then she has a good knowledge of the game, followed up by good color on top of it all. So all around, she was a pretty good pick. She did a good job, and with the exception of her not cursing, I thought she did a great job, and I look forward to hear some more submissions from her.
Peanut?
Yes, Raz, I agree. She is definitely one of the most well-spoken contestants. She has an excellent command of English, and she also has this awareness of other languages, especially Korean, which brings her very close to my heart. And she does have these very interesting turns of phrases. And she has these very interesting turns of phrases, very colorful, but also very eloquent. I do think that she has to work on her flow a little bit, that she has to work on the consistency of her flow, especially going from the early game to the late game. But overall, I think she's doing a great job, and she also has a lot of potential.
Yeah, and just to conclude, I agree with you guys on all those points. I was going to say them myself. I do think that what she needs to work on is just a little bit on her nerves. Sometimes I think she does sort of lose her train of thought or just get stuck on a couple of things. However, I do think she absolutely, like you said, is very strong in terms of knowing a lot about the players from watching hundreds and hundreds of commentaries. I do think, though, it'll be interesting to see how she does in the later stages of this contest, if she makes it that far, because I know she actually is very nervous during dual casts, and I can just give you a hint that might be part of our competition later. But we'll see how she does then, if she makes it then. And by the way, congratulations, Hazel, for being the second chosen Commentator Idol contestant. Our third one is named Kenny Casting. He made his first videos in order to submit to this contest. and he actually is completely new to commentating, but not to esports. He presented us with two games, Nowra versus Good Friend, which was the Pimpus Play game, where Nowra hallucinated arbiters and recalled a whole lot of stuff into Good Friend space. Very fun game, you should check it out. And he also presented us another historical game, Hwasun versus Stork from the World Cyber Games 2007, which, by the way, he attended. So Peanut wanted us to look at and contrast the two introductions to these two videos. So let's take a look first at the introduction to Nowra versus Good Friend, and then the introduction, or part of it, to Hwasun versus Stork.
I'll tell you, it's raining outside pretty hard where I'm at right now, but it's raining Gosuness in this game. This is one of the most famous matches of all time. It's Nowra himself, the Protoss genius, facing a Good Friend, a very well-known professional Terran player back in the day. This is one of those games that is so great that I believe it's important for us to have a cast of this game available to you guys. It's such a great game, such an amazing game, and I really wanted to share it with you guys. I actually had the honor to be at the WCG 2007, hanging out with my man Tasteless and a whole bunch of other friends. I was just having the time of my life, man. It was awesome, it really was, and I played a lot of video games. It was, I mean, what more could you ask for? I mean, all we needed was some hookers and the party was complete. Unfortunately, they only provided us with cheerleaders at WCG, so we had to work with what we were dealt. But, on the other hand, we also got to see a lot of amazingly awesome games, including this one that I'm going to cast for you today. Stork?
Peanut, why did you choose these two introductions, and what do you think it says about him and his commentating?
Well, Cholera, the first introduction I thought was very good, Nowra versus Good Friend. The idea of raining Gosuness as contrasted with physical rain going on outside, I thought was great. I thought it was a great sort of symbolic introduction to the world of commentary, where the audience person or the person watching the YouTube video is sort of in the real world, but then gets drawn into this completely different world of professional StarCraft. So you go from the rain outside to the raining Gosuness. That was great.
Metaphoric.
Yes, indeed. The WCG 2007 game, while it is great that he was able to go in person, and I myself know very well the value of being there in person, I did not particularly appreciate the references to hookers and
I did.
The subsequent, but at least they gave us cheerleaders comments, and I think he could have handled that a little bit better. But I do appreciate his interest in esports and his knowledge in esports. Just be careful of the hookers, and be careful when you're talking about hookers and who might be listening to your commentaries.
Yeah, exactly. And Rise, what did you think about these two introductions, the hooker comment that Peanut brought up, and the fact that he's actually been to some of these live events?
I think that they were great. I thought they were very funny. I got to keep in mind that half his audience is male. Not half. That was a bad under-exaggeration. Really, 95% is probably male. So I thought it was funny. One word of advice for you, though, Kenny. One of my friend's fathers told me this a long time ago. Don't sweat the petty stuff and don't pet the sweaty stuff, all right? So knowing that, you'll be pretty good in life. Keep it up.
All right, Rise. Very nice, very nice. Wow, I don't even know what that means. I can't even begin to imagine. Let's move on to Rise's clips, where I think Rise shows some of his technical commentary and his ability to describe what's going on and then explain it. Here we're going to watch first a clip where he describes the big recall that Nowra jumps on Good Friend. Let's watch it now.
Which one to attack. This is this is what I'm talking about with Nowra. He's just that brilliant strategy. He's moving over into Good Friend's base. This is it. He moves them right on top of each other, so Good Friend can't tell which is which, and he can't pick off the two that are in the back. Good Friend sees it and brings his dropships back. This is going to be so close. There's huge army, double recall, instantly into the middle of his base, and Good Friend has nothing to handle that many units. Absolutely amazing, and this is why This is just why Nalra is such a great player. People never did this in pro leagues back in the day. They never did this against other pros.
All right, Rise, why did you like this clip so much?
Because this clip was epic, and the fact of the matter is Kenny did a great job in portraying the fact that it was epic. He was very clear on what was going on, why it was so different, why it was why it was one of the best plays of the game, and you know, candidate for a Pimpus play for sure. So very well done on that, and really that was a very action-packed clip. So great match to pick to use as a submission. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. That was a Pimpus play, I believe, in '04 or something. It's one of the games I haven't casted, but I always wanted someone to cast that Pimpus play, and I'm glad someone did. And finally, we have another clip here that Rise recommended. This is when Stork goes for a 12 Nexus against Hwasun, PVT, and then he goes for the unorthodox move of building a photon cannon from his base. Let's listen to Kenny Casting's explanation.
He's going to use that to probably just macro right over this guy. And it's really smart putting down the cannon out there. Not only does it help pick off the vulture mines for a rush, it also helps to deter any of the marines so that basically he can just focus on completely microing against the tanks and vultures. As you can see, he's got already a citadel going up, which means you're probably going to see some DT harass or just some DTs to hold off this expansion. It's very smart, actually, to go DT when doing an early expand, because the Terran doesn't have the scanner, and the only thing they're going to have is mine, so it's really good deterrent for rushes. So Stork is playing this just insanely smart so far.
And he also actually talks a little bit about DTs and why he would build them. Why did you think this clip was a good clip to show off for Kenny Casting?
Well, it was great insight into the world of PVT. I mean, definitely these are things that every player should consider when going this sort of build. And the fact of the matter is he had a dead-on analysis. This is exactly why Stork did it. And, you know, I just thought that he did a great job in explaining everything so that if someone ever wanted to try it one day, they have a chance to succeed. Probably not as well as Stork may have, but there's a chance that they could pull it off.
All right, so Rise, why don't you give an overall summary of Kenny Casting, what he's doing well, and things he can work on, and then Peanut, you can go.
Well, I think that he's got a great flow. He's got good technical knowledge. He's just got to tie it all together and, you know, just avoid the dead spots that can occur from time to time. Overall, good job. Keep it up with the hookers and everything, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, Peanut.
Yes, I would also say you have a great voice for casting, and your flow is good. It does need to be a little bit more consistent, but I think that's a comment that can be made of many contestants. And of course, we don't expect you to be perfect. Your enthusiasm is good, and your sort of noob-friendly explanations also good. And sometimes you're pretty funny, which is also great. I would contradict Rise and say cool with the hookers. Just a little bit, and watch your sign-off lines. The sign-off line for the Stork versus Hwasun game was a little strange, but other than that, you're very personable. Good job.
See you on the other side of hell?
Yeah, see you on the other side of hell.
Very mystical, mystical statement that I have no idea what he's trying to say about. But all right, so Kenny Casting, congratulations for being our third SC2GG Commentator Idol contestant. And by the way, I just wanted to mention both of these games were historical commentaries, and you know, the second one was definitely a game you had experience with personally. So I do look forward to in this contest how you do with present day games. And you know, given that you had a strong performance here, I'm sure you'll show us a lot of skill there also. Moving on,